Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Somewhat Podcast, man. My name is Alex. Today, we're going to have a special guest on the show, Goku. Kami. We're going to be talking about everything. It's a variety show. Today, we're going to be talking about drugs, ChatGPT, audio problems, AI, war, Ukraine, Turkey.
Talk about Tylenol, right?
Hit the deck.
It's been, hello everyone. It's been a long time. When's the last time? I can't even, it's been a while.
Just forget about the last time. Let's just make this moment.
It's been a while, but we are happy to be back and extra happy to have not an FBI informer, but
not a whistleblower.
Not a whistleblower. Nope, he's not an FBI informer. He's not a former CIA agent. We cannot reveal his identity, though.
He's the silhouette of Goku.
He is Goku.
He is Goku.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, guys. I know I reveal my identity with my sharp ears. I think that's what tells you I'm Goku. But yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure being here, guys. So thanks for having me.
I gotta say, Zoabe, though, that you haven't been on for quite a bit and just immediately going at Riz. I love it.
Well, the thing is, the thing is, you got to remember, like, we started this whole thing to stay in touch and talk about, whatever's going on, like anybody else does. So, and here we are with a really, really old buddy, have some real memories with, and finally, we've got the chance to talk. So, let's see how tonight goes.
Alex, why don't you lead off with the first question?
I mean, I guess I had a experience in I went to Turkey in December, and I had an experience when I was in Alanya, Gazi Pasha, at the beach. I was hanging out at the beach with a friend of mine, and we were talking in English, and this random dude comes over to us, and he goes, "Hey, where are you from?"
Where are you from?
And I was like, well, we're from the U.S. Like, what about you? He's like, I'm from Iran. Okay, nice to meet you. He's like, listen, let's have drugs. I was like, what? Like, you have drugs? I was like, drugs? Yes, drugs. Do you have drugs? I'm like, no, I don't have any drugs. He's like, you sure you don't have drugs? I was like, I'm positive. And I looked at my friend. And I was like, yo, this guy's a narc. What the fuck is going on, man? And then he kind of just like, we're like, looked at him. And then my friend was like, well, what kind of drugs are you looking for? He's like, any kind.
I was like, oh,
those guys.
Yeah. Well, I got some Advil. We travel pack 100%
100% a narc. We're like, we don't have any, like, ask those people over there. He goes and he asks the people, like, further down the beach, and he comes back and he goes, they don't have drugs. Like, do you have drugs? And I was like, uncle, you're hurting my feelings now. Like, do I look like a guy who has drugs? He goes, no. And he pauses, looks around, and leans in real close to me and goes, you have drugs.
What?
Anyways, it turned out the guy was crazy. Like he didn't recognize us.
He was not a narc.
No, he was full pagal. Like, he just didn't recognize us. He was burnt out from all the drugs that he did in his youth. But Goku, why do you think somebody like that would be a 70-year-old man? Like, what would possess somebody to do that?
I don't know. My guess would be as good as yours. I wouldn't know.
He's got to be 70 years before he can even answer that.
Yeah, you wouldn't choose to presume, right?
Exactly. Yeah, you got to reach the age of 70 and see if you fall in that category before you can even answer.
Yeah, well, and the surprising part is, like, he's from Iran. I wouldn't expect drug addicts from Iran just because of the Ayatollahs are pretty strict on that stuff, and he must be brought up abroad, I guess. I don't know.
Iran's like I'm sure they have heroin there and stuff like that. It's pretty close to
I
Afghanistan.
know
so
one
it
thing:
has
you
to be.
get caught with drugs in Iran, but say goodbye to every body part you have.
Yeah, they're pretty strict, I heard.
Yeah, no, trust me. I mean, they were torturing women for taking their hijabs off. Holy crap!
So you say, but people have their ways, Really
But
know
I
think,
how it is to live there.
But I think what Alex was getting at, that maybe, or I don't know, correct me, but
I think Turkey also have very strict.
it's not very often that you see like a 70-year-old drug addict. I mean, most people who are into
Well,
drugs
that
are
also
typically
depends
younger.
how
make
many
it. They
we've
don't make
ran
it.
into.
Yeah, they don't make exactly.
Well, or here you'll run into them. Those crackheads. If they make it to 70, they'll still be cracking.
Bro, that
I'm telling you.
it's like they have superpowers.
They'll be cracking.
They'll
Yeah,
be cracking.
those
So.
meth addicts. Man, God damn.
I don't think that many are going to make it past 50 if they're serious addicts.
But if they do, then they're like the top of.
They won't have any freaking teeth, but they can still bite with those gums.
Yeah, straight up, son.
Jeez.
Zoeb, are you trying to tell us something? Did you have like
Hey.
Did you have an experience that you're kind of
No, the funny thing is
repressed?
my daughter was doing a project on like meth addiction.
Oh,
and I
okay.
said, how did you come about choosing this topic? She's like, well, they were doing on addictions, and there was a whole lot of information on that. I said, yeah, there is definitely a whole lot of information on that. And then she's like, have you ever seen that series Breaking Bad? I said, yes, I have. And I said, what about it? She's like, well, it's all about, I said, are you going to watch the whole series just to get some information? She's like, I don't know. Is it worthwhile? I said, no, just stick with the info on the internet.
Just ask ChatGPT to write the report for you.
ChatGPT.
I think the teachers are using ChatGPT and they're telling the students not to use it.
Yeah, it makes sense to me, bro.
Goku, have you ever used ChatGPT?
I have. I've recently started
I've
using
been messing
it.
around with it. I'll tell you, that thing can write essays or whatever you want. I mean, that thing literally makes the human useless.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty,
no, literally. Okay, like a lot of the tabloid, people who make blogs for different tabloids and stuff, it's made their lives easy. They just put the damn topic in and give it the information, just the tidbits. It orchestrates a whole, like.
But Goku, like, let Goku, I guess. What context have you used ChatGPT?
So my the way I as I said, I've only been using it recently. And so for me, generally anything that comes up for me in life, right? For example, if I need to find out, hey, there's an Australian Open playing, there's a tennis player here. First thing I do is I go to Google, and I mean that's just by default. I just go there and look up. But ChatGPT is giving me this new way of searching for things. Like, for example, if I need to learn about black holes or, the theory of relativity or something like that, ChatGPT, gives me a more concise, more user, a nice way, a simple way. I can just say, hey, give me a simple definition of it, or give me a little bit more complex, depending. Otherwise, in Google, you have to type, and there's so much nonsense out there, and you have to kind of filter all of that. And right now, we don't have any option. I think that's why Google is really scared of this, ChatGPT.
I don't think Google's scared. Man, they got enough brains there to come out with another AI that'll start doing what ChatGPT's doing.
Which is what they came up with, the Bard.
Bard.
And it's not as good. But the thing is,
so you can just buy it.
Yeah, I bet you.
Well, Microsoft has already paid billions into ChatGPT, so they're not going to give that up easily. So, but the thing is, they see it as a threat. If this catches on and becomes mainstream, they're going to lose their grip on and things are changing. And
you just said Microsoft actually owns ChatGPT, or has
no, they invested over $8 billion or something like that. It's a large amount, and in fact, they took a ChatGPT into their Bing search.
Into their Bing, yeah.
Oh man.
Yes, Yeah, you can just talk into Bing now, and it uses Chat GPT as the background to give you. And now, who uses Bing? That's a different thing. I think they should just start something new, to be honest. But that's a different topic. But yes,
so Goku,
absolutely. I mean, it is. It is the future. I just don't know who's going to be. And even
Right.
today,
Goku, what do you
Facebook
mean by the
announced
future?
their own AI, right?
Well,
What
Today,
do you
Facebook.
mean? What do you mean by the future? Like what exactly would we use it for?
Meaning the way that I'm usage, like for example, I have never used Chat GPT like 2 months ago. So now I'm starting to use it, and I think I'll continue to use it.
for
And I'm
people
gonna
who
have,
write code on a daily basis, that thing is a lifesaver.
yes, exactly. I mean, even before Chat GPT, if I wanted to know something, even if I knew, I would always Google it just to get it right from OpenStack or whatever it is, Stack Overflow or whatever. I just grab that stuff. But now it's like I can get it from Chat GPT, and it seems to be more reliable.
So it's a good like search mechanism for info, for research.
Dude,
Oh
everything.
yeah. For example, I'll give you. This is what I said. Hey, I want to write. Give me a piece of code in Python that only that matches one string to another. Right. That's all. That's and it within a matter of 30 seconds or less, it spits out pretty good code that I may not use the whole thing, but I would grab some of it and put it into mine just so that, it's nothing crazy. Instead of, for me, that takes 5 minutes, now it's taking me less than 30 seconds to grab it and put it into whatever I'm doing.
Is this going to affect people's jobs or?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I mean,
That's the point
I
Yuna's
would
getting to.
I would say if unless you're a really good coder, if you're a basic kind of normal, yeah, you will be replaced by this definitely. Yeah, but I think if you're really good, like for example, the complex stuff, I think you should still because you still need to understand what's there out there. You have to maintain and all of that stuff. I think it's going to take some time, but I would say in the next couple of years, yeah,
Yeah.
if you're just there, yeah, you would be, and you're already being replaced. Like they're all the regular low level, like if testers and all those people are being replaced right now.
But like that's all dandy and everything. But what if we have a nuclear war and the lights go out?
Oh,
Then there's
yeah,
no use for
and that's what
ChatGPT.
right. Or the government regulations can put and say, hey, you can't automate certain amount using Chat GPT or other things, right? Like for example, in New Jersey, you can't pump your own gas just because they want to create jobs. Like you can't. You try to go pump your gas, it's illegal. Right. So what they can do is say you can only automate 30%, 40%, or
Yeah, but the
50%.
low-level coders are like
Yeah, they're,
The
they're
around
out.
the
IT
US
market is
or
pretty saturated as it is, anyways.
yeah.
Like
Right.
literally,
Yeah.
IT
Well,
market is the most saturated workforce.
but what's more interesting to me, Goku? Let me get your thoughts on this because I know you're like a philosophical type of person as well. Let's look at it from is artificial intelligence gonna advance and progress so much to the future that humans have a risk of being, basically
Going into
becoming
the Matrix,
stratified?
like we will be in
Well,
the
no,
Matrix while the
no,
AI
that
runs the show.
the artificial intelligence becomes the overlords of the human species. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, that's a tough question for me. Or even, I mean, my knowledge in this space is probably the same amount as you guys. And what do you guys think? I mean,
Have you
let's
seen
have
the
a
stuff
discussion. I
the
mean,
U.S. has been working on robotics, especially those they're making for deployment. They're specifically working. I mean, that thing acts like a mechanical dog, but way stronger too. Can't destroy it with a grenade. It'll go rip things apart.
Are you forecasting a dystopian future?
Dude, I'm talking Terminator straight up.
Oh snap!
If we've learned, okay, so I'll say this, right? And we can, in the Ukraine war,
Yeah.
both sides have been using pretty sophisticated drones to try to an advantage.
China's coming in play. They're going to be starting.
The consensus has been that when the drones are first introduced, they're pretty effective, extremely effective for the first month, 2 months, 3 months. Then human ingenuity is able to figure out a way to like limit the scope of the use of those type of weapons. So it's been shown that technology. Too bad Big O's not on the show for this one. He's waiting for the invitations, away salivating. But
really,
what
like how many times I've told you he can come on the show anytime, and he needs an invitation. Seriously.
but he's what he had told me is that the war in Ukraine has shown that World War II level artillery battles are still the status quo for war, and that all these advancements in technologies and all these increase in technology and all these weapons that the United States have, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, is that they're effective to a point. But after that point, it's World War II artillery, and that's for the most part what they've been using.
Which means that even nuclear warfare would also be part of World War II, right? Because that's what they did in World War II. I mean, Russia has enough nukes to they said they can destroy the entire world.
And majority of them now have them all up, hooked up to the satellites. Yeah. So
by the way, can you believe it's been 1 year since the Russian-Ukraine war started? It's been a whole year.
Right. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable because when the war, I can tell you, a year back exactly on this, I thought the war was going to over in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see the rows? The distance of the tanks, one behind the other, Russian tanks, went for miles.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was over.
You know what's so funny about all of this is that we are in an era that we have made this realization that Earth is the only inhabitable planet. Anywhere, Mars, maybe, they want to go there, go ahead, that's fine. Maybe they can colonize it and, do some greenhouse effects and terraform and whatnot. But at the end of the day, we're all living in the same globe, right? And they are bent on backwards using these nuclear warheads, which are way powerful than the Hiroshima bomb. I mean, the Hiroshima bomb is like a firecracker compared to what we got now. And any of those get used, it's going to affect everybody.
Yeah, of course. That's
Alex. Alex, I know you have a great interest in that region and geopolitics. So what's your sort of prediction as where is this Russia-Ukraine war heading towards?
We had this conversation a year ago, and we asked, "What's the crystal ball?"
Right.
And I want to actually go listen to it to see what we said.
If China is coming into play, it's only going to escalate. There's no de-escalation. If China's coming into play, and it goes back to the economic imperialism. The dollar is at stake. The unipolar world that existed when the United States was, it's no more. Now you have two more economies coming up, and the dollar is at risk.
Yeah, I mean, I fundamentally disagree with you, but I don't want to. That's for another show, I think. But to your point, though, Riz, what I think might happen or what might not happen. One, like I said earlier, it's been shown that the World War II artillery style battles are similar to them are into play. They're moving a lot faster. They're using a lot more artillery. There's a lot more deaths that are happening. I think there's 1,000 deaths a day. That's World War I level type of carnage. Really? And so if I were to guess at this point, is that I think Russia's gearing up for a major offensive. I think it's their last leg without any help from anybody else. And then Ukraine is waiting for May, June they have 100,000 or 60,000, excuse me. They have 60,000 troops that are training in Western countries right now with different types of weapon systems and munition systems, which are all artillery and all missile systems. And they're learning how to use them. Come May or June, they'll be available for the Ukrainian government to use. Ukraine's trying to hold. Russia's trying to advance as quickly as they can. May and June, we're going to have an offensive from Ukraine. And at that point, we're going to see what happens. I think the U.S. and NATO has bought into this war. For them, this is a ending of Russia war. Like, we're going to end Putin and his regime here. So that's their goal. Putin.
I totally agree with that.
No, that is their objective. That's for sure.
Yeah, because
Putin bit off more than he can chew.
Right, it's checkmate pretty much for Putin. I think he underestimated.
But what do you think in checkmate he was going to do? There's only one thing left.
Well, either way, I mean, either way you look at it, right? If he uses nukes, right, then of course he's going to go down in history as like using nukes on a country that is so less perceived to be such a small country, and no one has used nukes since World War II, right? This will be the first time.
Well, so it's a pretty smart move they haven't.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
and second of all, if you want to take over a country like Ukraine, if you destroy it, what do you have? Then what do you have? Rubble. And then you have no economy.
I don't think it's about the actual taking infrastructure. It's about who's got the biggest on the table. That's what's happening.
That's what I'm saying, is that even if you look at every single possible scenario, I don't see how this is going to work positively for Putin.
No, it doesn't. It's a mess. It's a mess. They're in it, and
right. So what do you do? Now, I think at this point, maybe Putin will somehow, I think he's smart, somehow convert this war and say, hey, Ukraine wants to negotiate, we'll give them peace. There you go. And kind of,
like a face saving.
No, I think, Zelensky, when he was here and he spoke in the U.S., he was all about not negotiating. And the Democrats were like clapping at it, and the Republicans were looking at each other. It was a pretty interesting. That's one thing I did watch, and it's very scary when the Democrats are warmongering and the Republicans are hesitant about it. That's a pretty interesting thing to see.
Right. So that's what my second thing, you brought up China. I think Chinese people are very smart, and I think Indian people are very smart. Even though they buy a lot of Russian oil, they don't want to go towards Russia because it is a losing sliding ground. I think it's there. I think that's the only reason. It's because China. I mean, it's all about economy, and if they go so close to Russia, if they're losing, what you want to be on which side? So that's why they're being neutral.
China is not being neutral. China actually is now supplying weapons to Russia. They're having
well.
They've talked about it.
Yeah, we I don't know the details again.
No, this is like more recent, like. Because Biden, and this happened like very recently, this move, and that's why I was that's why I was saying like looks like it's going to escalate. There's no de-escalation.
But China has said that they offered a peace plan to both sides. They said, Ukraine gets all its territory back, Russia gets guarantees of like safety. Ukraine gets most of it, not all of its territory, most of its territory. Russia gets certain guarantees, and if you guys don't capitulate, then we're possibly thinking about
who broke the treaty
sending
first?
weapons to Russia.
Yeah, what about
treaty first?
What do you mean?
Russia already had this treaty with the United States that Ukraine will never be part of NATO. They broke that treaty. Yes,
it wasn't a treaty. It was an agreement,
bro. It's
a verbal agreement.
No, you really think these people do verbal agreements? Yeah. Really?
Verbal agreement. And then
I'll give you the link to, look at it. It was a written agreement. The brokered with the Europeans made this agreement with Russia.
Written or verbal.
Buddy,
the point of the war is not about Russia preventing
it was
Ukraine
actually
from joining
part of
NATO.
installing Zelensky there. You know, he was a comedian before he became.
It's not part of, like, that's Russian propaganda. That's all it is.
Well, it's U.S. propaganda too at the same time.
Oh, so Russia.
Let me put it this way. Now, I think, Putin. Let's give some credit.
I'm not favoring Putin. I'm just telling you the fact.
I'm saying what would have happened? What would have happened if Putin invaded Ukraine in the second year of Trump's administration?
Yeah, it actually
What would happen?
That didn't happen.
Let's say
you're saying supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly during the second year of Trump's administration, Putin decided to take over Ukraine. I mean, the same thing. I mean, nothing has changed since then. It's just his timing was awfully bad. Trump would have looked the other way and said, "Hey, we're not gonna, it's you guys. Do whatever you want." And as long as I'm getting benefited from Russia or whatever, because he has a lot of respect, and if United States didn't provide the intelligence and the aid and all of these javelins and all of these things, there is no way that Europe alone could help Ukraine. It would have been, the war would have been over. Right?
The war would have been over if France and then England and Germany, they didn't put all the sanctions on Russia like they were supposed to. They were
right.
Still...
right. Even all I'm saying is that it's his time. The world would have looked and said, "Yeah, this is unfortunate," but Russia would have prevailed. I mean, that's what happened to Crimea. I mean, when did they take over? They just took over Crimea. There was not even a single bullet fired. They took over Crimea. They said, okay, Crimea is a part of the United States. Russia, and that's it.
I agree with you in principle. I think if it were to happen in the second year of Trump's presidency, he would have said, we'll stay out of it. How does this benefit the United States? Right? And he tried to figure out an angle on how would this benefit the United States via trade, et cetera, et cetera. But one thing I do want to say is that when Russia did invade Ukraine, the United States and Europe did not offer military support immediately. They waited until Ukraine was able to show that they were willing and able to stand up and fight for themselves. So if you remember, the response that you put forward to Zoaib was, if the Ukrainians were such in support of Russia, then why is there so many Ukrainians fighting against Russia? That's the whole point. The United States and Europe, Western Europe, were waiting to see how the Ukrainians were going to react, and they reacted with such force, with such vitriolic hate towards Russia, that they said, "Okay, we're going to support you." And then they all in poker in terms of word, but
it's going to be it's. I mean, like I said, I don't think most people thought this conflict was going to last for a whole year, but
you remember the Cuban Missile Crisis, right? We all remember the Cuban Missile Crisis when Russia was trying to move their warheads there, and they backed off. They realized it will cause a nuclear war because this is home ground area for the United States. It's like a camp right outside, the country. So they realize that they're like, all right, it's their territory. Screw it. We go back. We don't want to cause this war. Ukraine is right there. And when the U.S. puts their bases there, you think this is going to go away? It's not going away.
Well, and even Russia takes over Ukraine now. I don't think
they want to take over Ukraine.
Able to maintain. I don't think they have the capacity to govern and to handle it. I don't think so.
I will tell you, the soldiers in the Russian army are not of the same caliber when they had the soldiers in the Soviet Union. It's a whole different ballgame right now.
And to be honest, what really eye-opening for me was, before the war, I actually gave a lot of credit to Russia. I thought they had superior tanks because they're the ones supplying tanks to all the selling, arm
Yeah, a lot of
material
like the
to
missile
India buys a lot of.
systems. Yeah,
They're
even
outdated.
Asian countries, the other small ones.
They're actually junk now because there are no parts for it. They don't know how to fix them. There's bureaucracy. They're just, in fact, it kind of showed the world their cards. It's actually less than what people thought they had. Even their recently I heard that their supersonic missile stuff also failed.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, they have the nukes. I'm not saying they can defeat Ukraine, but it's like you're really don't have that much in your hand, and you're trying to. That's basically what it revealed.
Also,
That is fine and dandy. The only problem is even a bad nuke will still go off.
Right, and
That's the
again, my question is like, if you want to take over, like Crimea, he would never bomb Crimea because there's Russians there.
I'll
the
tell
thing
you,
is,
man. When you're backed in a corner and the gloves are off, people can do some crazy stuff.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I don't know. But which brings the topic of drugs. I think, what do you think Putin is taking?
If he's
think
doing
not
it, if
taking
he's
your-
doing
your-
it this
your-
sober,
well, he's
then he
definitely
needs
doing
something. If he's doing this
No,
all
no,
sober,
he's definitely doing it. It did because there have been also some documentaries and.
Really?
Oh yeah, he's definitely on.
I don't think
yeah.
it's I don't
He's
think
not
an
he's not a
amphetamine
stimulant.
would make him do this. Amphetamines usually make you positive and
Well,
creative.
no. Well, in
No,
World War II
no, dude.
World
World War
War
II.
Okay, let's get the
Not
psychiatrist,
amphetamine.
view on this.
Nazi meth.
Who writes
No,
the prescriptions there?
I heard Hitler was giving amphetamines to all of his soldiers, and he was taking it
Yes.
himself,
He was.
administered by his doctor.
I think they were doing the real stuff, like the real
What were the
stuff.
Nazis
mean
taking
real
in World War
The
II?
Nazis
What
were doing a
Stimulants.
lot of things. The Nazis
They're
were.
taking stimulants. They were
Yeah.
taking stimulants.
Yeah, they're
Like
just because
meth or what?
otherwise you can't stay up.
It was
for,
called not meth, but it was. I think it was
It was
benzocaine
speed.
at the time. It was
Something like
similar.
speed.
It's something similar to amphetamine.
Yeah, sure. It's all in the same class, right?
It's in the same, different family.
You know,
But
the
if
thing
I
is-
were to guess what Putin's on, I mean, I would say it's some type of amphetamine. To be honest,
Probably he has to because, first of all, in order to, even though he's ruling it, he's under a lot of pressure. In fact,
and
Oh,
stress.
no.
in fact, let me
that's
give you
true.
a question. Okay, I have a question, by the way. Answer, and everybody gets a choice. It's a multiple choice question: A, B, C, D. Okay, you guys, I want to know what you guys pick. Okay, who is a character that you don't want to be during these times? Okay, A. Okay,
Okay.
Sam Bankman-Friedman or Sam Bank-Friedman. Okay,
Okay. That's A.
Okay. E is Putin.
Okay. C.
Okay. C, I don't know if you guys know.
Biden?
Oh no! Don't no. What do you mean? Come
Well,
on,
but-
he's a
I
president.
mean-
What do you mean? I would love to. No.
I wouldn't want to be
C
that
is-
president. He's
no.
like half asleep while
No,
he's talking.
C is Santos.
oh, George Santos.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. And 4 is who's this Indian guy?
The one who's the prime minister UK right
no,
now.
no,
Adani.
Oh
Adani.
yeah,
Adani.
Adani. Yeah, who? That's a big
Corruption.
scandal right now. Over there.
Corruption.
Okay, so those 4 people. Okay.
Man, I don't want to be any of them. Do we
I
have
know
to
that's the
choose?
whole point.
You have to pick
You have
one.
to choose one.
Okay.
Okay.
You have
God,
to
I'm
choose
ready.
one.
Go ahead, Alex.
Okay. So
I'll choose
Putin-
A.
I think people say Putin is a madman and this and that. But
I don't think he's mad.
No, I'm not convinced, bro. I think he has a rationale why what he's doing and why he wants to do it. There's no right, like we always say, like we're not
Right.
criticizing Russia. There's no right and wrong in politics. It's just objective.
Fair enough.
And
Okay.
A, who is A?
Sam Bankman-Fried.
I mean, what an asshole, but like, whatever. Like, he doesn't bother me as much as
Yeah,
then
he's kind
the
of
last one is
his
that Nani.
his what you say, the radius of any kind of effect is less than the rest of the list.
Yeah, he's a common criminal at the end of the day, you know. And Adnani too, even though that's a major
We should have put
news story,
General Bajwa on that list too as a D.
and it's affecting like the Indian.
Rizwan? Riz? General Bajwa, the chief of army staff, who just retired.
Well, he's not as well known outside of Pakistan.
I think the Americans know him real well.
No, but the question Goku asked was, who would you not want to be?
Right, I'm getting to that. But Adnan is like
Santos.
George Santos. Oh, what a fucking banchod, bro. That guy, he's like, I mean, like, there's some banchod level motherfuckers out there. That guy's on the next level, dude. Like, I mean, like, how could you? It just don't make no goddamn sense, man. Like, you lie so much, say anything to get elected, and then when you get caught, you're like,
that's a typical brown people disease.
I'm not,
the bureaucrats.
There are probably politicians who are worse than Santos. It's
right.
Just, if he came out and said, "Look, this is what dirty politics is," everybody here is like that lying. It's just that there's some people who lied and got caught, and some people who lied and didn't get caught. That's the only difference.
But like for every guy like that, for every 3 guys that are like him, there's one guy like Mitt Romney. And like, you have to give credit where credit is due. Mitt Romney
looks like an angel compared to that guy.
Chewed his ass out. Chewed him out. You should be ashamed. Like, you shouldn't even be here. What are you doing here?
So let me ask you a further question. If you had to choose between Trump and Santos, who's the bigger evil in there?
Well, in their capacity, they're all evil in the same bar.
I mean,
again, you have to choose one. Which one would you?
You didn't ask me. You didn't say Trump.
Alex didn't give his answer yet.
You got to
give my answer.
Which was it? So which one is it?
Santos. Okay,
Santos. Okay.
Santos.
But what's your answer, Rizwan?
Sam Bankman-Fried.
Okay, and
A.
First one. Sorry, Sam Bankman-Fried. Yeah, I would also go with A, just only because all the rest of them, except for Putin, maybe, they're not going to prison. This guy is going to go to prison. Spend the rest of his life in prison. And let me tell you, American prisons are not that nice, especially for a billionaire. And so he's going to be.
You guys were gonna say you didn't want to be him because his girlfriend was so ugly.
What?
So the Santos, even though how horrible he is, right? He's not going to go to prison, or he's at the most he's going to lose his job, right? That's all there is to it. Actually, this Indian guy could go to prison if it comes down to fraud.
No, but he's buddy with Modi, right?
But now he's distancing. But the problem is, at the end of the day, it's money that comes down to, right? So people are going to get really pissed off if they lose their. And it's going to be a pretty messy thing.
It's going to affect the Indian government itself. It's going to affect the Modi administration.
It probably will, but we'll see how that, but the thing is, right, Putin now is in big trouble. Is also like, I think his days could be counting if things don't pan out the way it is. So that's one. But Sam Bankman-Fried is done. Is like, it's over. It's pretty much, I mean, even if he wins one case, he's got like so many cases against him. There's no way. It's no out. I mean,
that politician who's getting a lot of track with as an opposition runner, the one with the beard looks like a homeless guy. What's his name?
Which one? Who are you talking
India?
about?
I mean, he's from the Rajiv Gandhi's son or something?
What?
Rahul Gandhi?
Rahul Gandhi, yes.
Yeah. But no, that guy is a complete idiot. He lost the elections the last 10 times he ran. There's no chance. But if you see him talk, the problem is he's a spoiled kid. That's who he is. He can't speak a single word. I mean, Rajiv Gandhi was, he comes from a good family, but he doesn't have any charisma. He doesn't know how to talk. So just Modi is going to basically says, please run so I can just put you in the corner. That's the problem. And he's the leader of the Congress party.
Goku, is Modi still widely popular in India?
Yeah, extremely popular, and he
Really?
knows. Yeah, and he knows exactly, and it's unfortunate because there are now what he's doing is anytime there's elections coming, he knows how to play the cards, and he plays the
Yeah.
religion card, and which is
He
really
knows what
sad.
buttons
Right.
to press.
Because all he has to say is, hey, we're going to build a new temple. We're going to do some, and this is highly, highly popular. Although it segregates. India is actually a mixed. The Muslims and Hindus live
Right.
very. And in fact, a lot of people are born and live there. So what he does is he plays cards in such a way that he just only during the elections time he rouses the Hindu nationalism just a little bit to get the votes. And once he gets the votes, he kind of and now there's a big issue with the documentary.
The
The
BBC documentary.
yeah,
Yeah.
the BBC documentary that depicts what happened when he was a chief minister. This is way long ago,
In Gujarat. Yeah. When.
That's right, when he
He's
was a
been
CM.
playing the same tune for
Exactly.
quite a bit.
But, however, when you talk about the economic prosperity of India in terms of,
Yeah, that's
he did a
definitely.
few things. That is something we have not seen in many decades. Now, I'm not saying that he's good or bad. I'm just going
Right.
through
Right.
like in term because one of the other things that really works out is he's a single guy. He's not married, doesn't have kids, he doesn't own any property, so he plays that card and say, look,
Yeah.
I am not a corrupt guy. I'm not taking on me. I don't need money. I don't need
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah,
right?
I don't
The
have
only
any heirs.
By
right.
the way, Goku, can you pause for 1 second? I always wondered about that. So he's never been married ever?
No,
Apparently,
he doesn't have kids. He doesn't.
apparently,
I
The
mean,
only
like, but
person, the only,
isn't that a little? I mean, little
it is.
different.
It is weird. It is a little
And
weird.
it,
And who knows? Maybe he could be gay. Who knows? We don't know. We
right.
don't know. We don't know. But the only person that if family is his mom, and
Really?
is she still
yes,
Siblings?
alive?
No siblings?
yeah,
He has no.
she's alive, and he's basically that's who he caters to.
Okay.
He says that this is my mom, and this is all I have, and he's really vocal about his properties and showing. He's like, here you go, I have nothing, right?
No,
I
see, I will tell you, he's not corrupt for money. He
He's
does
corrupt
like the
for
power.
power.
Yes,
Exactly.
that man
Exactly.
enjoys power.
And he knows,
He doesn't need money.
and you can tell. But at the same time, he knows that some of his people, BJP party, is also corrupt. But he keeps his distance because he has to win election. He's
Yeah.
smart. But
Yeah.
at the same time, when he came up with the demonetization, I mean, that was. I didn't know he could even pull it off. In fact,
Well, he made a lot of people angry, but he did pull it off.
Explain that to
that's
us.
the thing. Whether it worked or not is a different question.
Well,
The
what did he
fact
do?
that
Bigger bills.
overnight,
Yeah.
he said, you cannot have 100 rupee bills, period. They just are invalid. Right.
Yeah.
And now, in fact, a lot of people, you can't just go buy things using black money. Black money has reduced in India quite a bit. And in
That was
fact,
his actually way of reducing it.
Yeah, but how? What would invalidating a 100 rupee bill do?
oh no, because what happened was there was people having a lot of black money, right? Literally house full of cash, right? All of a sudden that cash is valid nothing. He's just saying that bill he's saying is not a currency anymore. You have to get the new bill. And so people
And
have
then
to
that means you
take
have to
this
prove where you
exchange.
got that
Yeah.
money from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you take this money into the bank, they're going to say, well, where we can't do that. And he also put a limit. You have to only do like 1,000 or 2,000
Yeah.
rupees per person.
Right.
And literally you could see in people just dumping cash on the roads, and it was just, even you go to a restaurant, they're like, no, we can't take this cash. Even though you give whatever, it's like, no, can't do it.
It's worthless.
It's worthless, and and it angered a lot of people because a lot of people had money, a lot of money, so even today, a lot of the transactions are all now electronic. People prefer electronic. People like the white money. So when you buy land and things like that, now they're like they can't put so much in cash. It's more like
Everything's
half
on
and half.
record. Everything's up in the
Exactly,
open.
and which is and this is a really good thing for the economy. I don't think Rahul Gandhi would have pulled something like this if he was a prime minister.
He
Me, it
really
sounds like
dresses like
Modi's.
a homeless guy, man. I was like, who is this guy?
Well, he changed his whole persona. He's actually well shaved, well thing, but recently he started growing a beard just like Modi, and
Really?
Modi's beard is even 3 times longer now. He had a much shorter beard during the election. Now it's really long. I guess they're in competition. And I looked at Rahul Gandhi, and it's just, it's like I'm sorry, but he may be a good person. I don't know. But when I saw the interviews that he did, if he doesn't like a question, he just it's like you don't understand. You're
Is he
not
corrupt
answering
though?
the
Like,
question.
is he?
No, he, what I don't understand is, when the interviewer asks him tough questions, right? You're not answering to the interviewer. Billion people are watching you on TV.
Yeah.
You're there. You just need to cater to them, not to this guy. So he gets very upset with this one interview. It's like, who cares? That guy is just a guy, but you're being presented to the whole India, and he just tanked at that point. No chance. No, he lost. Like, he ran 2 times against Modi. It was beyond dismal. It was more like it's not just winning with the majority. It was a avalanche basically. And that's why Modi's winning, is because there is no opposition.
Yeah, that's
Interesting.
There's no opposition, like zero. It's like Putin,
Wait, can
right?
you,
Who's going to run against Putin? No one.
buddy? It's like Angela Merkel in Germany too. No replacement
Well,
for her,
I
or
respect Angela
Erdogan.
Merkel quite a bit.
Trump used to make fun of her.
No, I think Trump actually is scared of her. I think
Yeah, he felt intimidated by her.
That's
she
why
was
he cut jokes about her. Yes, that's true.
the
Alan.
Iron Chancellor.
I heard a story that when Angela Merkel met Putin, Angela Merkel was very scared of dogs, it seems. So Putin on purpose had 2 huge German shepherds come and sit right next to Angela Merkel during the meeting with Putin, just to intimidate. That's how level of things that Putin is. It's anyway. That's something.
That's from his ex KGB times, right?
Right.
Knowing your opponent.
Intimidation.
Yeah.
Intimidation. And
but did you know what her quote on that was?
what?
I'm gonna paraphrase. So after that happened, she said something similar to men with little leverage try to use intimidation to make things happen for them.
Well, it was a German shepherd,
It's just like a flag that he has no cards. He has no real cards.
I mean, I think Angela Merkel also, again, when Germany even today is the most powerful nation in Europe, right? And I think it's some of it has to be credited to Angela Merkel. I think she did a good job in laying the foundation, or whatever. This I would say, compared to France and even UK, I would say Germany is much stronger.
Goku, do other planets exist?
Do other planets exist? What do you mean? We all learn.
No, I've met with life forms.
Venus, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter.
In the sky,
Did you miss like the 6th grade, bro? Like what's?
Yeah, there's
just in our solar system, there's plenty.
in our solar system.
No. I meant, is there life on other planets? I'm sorry.
To me, this was a good question a while ago, but now that I think with the information I have, I think it's not only is life in other planets. I think it's abundance. I think there's abundance of life in not only in our own galaxy. I think it's abundantly found in other galaxies. In fact, we don't even know how many galaxies that we have in this universe. Right. So it would be so silly. And in fact, the fact that we have life on this planet itself is a proof that there is plenty of life within our own galaxy. Forget about our Andromeda and our neighboring galaxy.
You think we'll be able to get to the speed of light anytime soon? They've been talking
Forget
about a
about
lot
the
of
speed
stuff.
of light, but I do think life on Earth is finite. I believe that.
No, it
because
is finite. The resources are finite.
Well, no, I meant to say that I don't think our human race is that smart to go ahead and colonize and do because even if you think about they say that the universe is expanding, right? So eventually, our galaxy will be the loneliest galaxy in the
But
universe.
you do realize humans are stupid enough to try it, though.
Well, I mean, even that's what I'm trying to say. That like even if you try to live on Earth very sustainably, very well, right? Even our sun is going to burn out at some point.
Well, none of us have long lives, so we're just talking everybody's like 50, 60 years.
But wait,
Past
but
the pillow.
Goku. But I want to ask Goku a little bit more detail on that answer he gave, because Goku, you said it very confidently, as far as that
You
that
should have asked
definitely
me.
think
I
that there's
sounded more confident.
yeah, but in terms of like just mathematically, just based on mathematics or something else, or
Well, in terms of are you talking about if
life
there's
on other
life on
planets,
other
yeah.
planet, or the fact that we colonize other planets?
No. He's talking
life on
about
other
like
planets.
you gave that answer very, confidently that there is life.
Right. I mean, it's not. It's look the material that's found within our the primordial life that was evolved on this planet itself. Right. It came from within the universe. It's not like we invented something. This is special, right? The elements that are found on Earth are also found in all other planets and within the universe. And I do believe you have to believe that not necessarily with the Big Bang, but the universe started at one just because it's expanding. So it must have been at one point started at a single source.
Okay, wait, just hold on a sec. We're talking about the life on other planets. What about the UFOs and everything? The United States has been released official, video footages that they've been talking about it, and they're like, yes, we now want to disclose, declassify all this. Yes, there are UFOs, and we've been observing them since way back. What about that?
No, I have not read any of that stuff. I don't know.
Dude, they got videos too. Like they're actually recorded videos from their sources, not even made up stuff.
Where? I mean, if
everywhere.
It's there, why?
They've been, man, even Joe Rogan's done a whole show on that.
I mean, come on. Okay, let me tell you. Okay, anytime there's a UFO or something like that, right? I see every time I see something, it's blurry.
This stuff is not
This
blurry.
This has been the fact of if there are UFOs.
Ask ChatGPT.
No. I'm just saying, if there are, right? It's something to celebrate. It's something to really, really, be amazed and thrilled and shared about, and it's not something that you keep. I'm telling you, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, people are just like that. Hey, I have some information. I'm going to hide it from everybody just because I know it.
No, absolutely not. No. I mean, no. If there is, right, whether it's the Chinese or whoever, right? If there is, this is information. We know about all the stuff that's happening. If we don't have a clear picture, that means it's fuzzy. Everything about it is fuzzy, and I don't. It's like saying, you asking me, is there God? Right? I would say, well, that's an irrelevant question because there's no way of proving it. So I can't answer either way, and I'm not. That's not a question for discussions because it's not a scientific question. Can't ask a scientist about that because you can't really conduct anything.
But do you believe that we have a soul, though?
No, but as Rizwan said, like, is there life on other planet? He's not saying is there
that's
God.
That's relative to science. Yeah.
No. I'm saying that even with using the telescopes, or even the fact that if the distance between a sun and a planet is a certain Goldilocks zone, there's a
found a lot of planets like that.
Right. It could be. That's what I'm trying to say. You can kind of say that, hey, but if there's no other galaxies in the universe and there's nothing, yes, then I would say the likelihood reduces quite a bit.
Yeah,
but
if it was just solar system we live in, and we didn't see anything,
That's
just
right.
dark,
It would
pitch
be,
black,
but
dark. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, just our Milky Way galaxy is like we have no
billions
clue,
of freaking systems in it.
It's like I don't think even our minds can understand
Yeah, well,
how within our own galaxy is,
30,
right? I mean,
yeah, when they talk about 2-3 million light years away, I'm like, okay, stop. What?
I think we need to do a follow-up episode on this topic, because I think this is a very rich topic, which requires, like,
No. You know what?
like a more
what I've been
right,
trying to give
I
a
think
perspective is what
and
he's talking about is like, yet we are so confined to our war in this small planet. There's infinity just looking at us, right? And we're just killing each other, doing nothing productive.
right, but
That's the base point.
Rizwan, but in order to answer that also, right, we have to understand like physics as well, like
Right.
theoretical physics. We have, because otherwise we would
theory
just,
of relativity, Einsteinian physics.
yeah,
Yes,
but-
there's a lot to go into.
Just even the how we the distances and all of those things
Exactly.
we need to understand, because otherwise it would be like people, and you have to know, we all have to agree on the fact that the universe is expanding at an alarm exponentially.
I forgot the
fast
name of the paraplegic
Stephen Hawking.
Hawkins. Yeah,
you have to,
black
if we
holes.
don't have that, yeah, if we don't have that same, if we both say yes, I believe in that, and we know it's, then we can build on top of it, right? But if you say, because if there are a lot of Christians out there that don't believe in this, they just simply don't believe.
They also don't believe that this planet is like billions and billions of years old.
Right. They just can't understand. In fact, the other day I saw a video, even the way that they teach physics in our schools, they put the sun, which is just stable, and then they put the earth going round and round. I mean, that's what we see. But if you really look at it, right, that's not the right way of looking at things. You should imagine sun traveling really fast in the universe.
Through
And then
Milky
the
Way.
Earths are just orbiting against and going at a very extremely fast rate, because that's what because the whole galaxy is moving really fast.
it's
In
rotating
fact, it's
and
moving faster away, and it's not only moving fast; it's accelerating.
Yes. Yeah. People
See?
actually look at those numbers like with their eyes. The ones who can understand math.
It's unbelievable.
It'll blow you.
And now the question is, well, what is moving it apart? Right? And so they don't know, and they call it the black matter.
You're talking about the dark matter.
Dark matter. Yeah.
Dark matter.
Antimatter or something. There's dark
there's
matter.
black matter, and
antimatter.
there's also, so there's something that we don't know. Some energy is moving it, and that's what we call
Stephen
it.
Hawking said when they studied the black holes, that actually put all the physics, any math or science they have known to just nothing, because black holes literally don't even follow any of it.
Right, and they were thinking that, well, they found out recently that every single galaxy has a massive black hole in between.
It's like a sink.
But however, that black hole is not keeping the galaxy together, because it's too, so they don't know what's keeping the galaxy together.
That's where the dark matter comes into play.
Yes, that's what they're saying, but they still don't know. They don't know.
Matter.
No one knows.
Trump matter.
It's all Trump energy everywhere.
Quick, since this is a variety show.
Yeah.
Unless you want to wrap that thought up.
Calling this a variety show, really?
We were talking about a different
jumped
stuff.
We had all these thoughts were connected, dude. Where were you?
Yeah, that's true. Oh, you're right. Sorry.
But you're right.
Perfect circle.
It is getting late. It's really late for you guys.
So I think Goku will have you on again.
Yeah.
And let's get into physics, universe. Are we living in a simulation?
I think
are we living in multiple universes?
Yeah, and I think what we should do is we should also like stick to one topic, and also let's go.
No, today was more like, we were trying to, after such a long break, I would say, and like
get back in the groove.
First time we were just running all this, to the mind. Now we'll
This is a
have much
beautiful
perspective, like where we're going to
conversation.
talk about it. But I really enjoyed it. So
Me too.
Right.
So did I.
My only suggestion is, I get sometimes too excited on certain topics, but I think what we should do
Physics.
is we should
Physics.
we should give 2 minutes to everyone. Only 2 minutes, no less, no more, maybe less if they want to, but everyone should get 2 minutes. That way, it's like everyone's thought gets completed within that time, and as well as they get another chance when it goes around, right? So I think that's what we should do, because otherwise, I might get too excited and just run into a rabbit hole.
We'll make sure we get out of the way and just follow right behind you.
Yeah, we're good. We're going down that
No,
road.
no. I think that way. I think each of us have very good, interesting perspective to share, and we should share. We should do this 2-minute format. Everybody gets 2 or less.
Try it out.
Yeah.
Try it out.
Goku. The more you talk with us, the more natural the conversation will feel.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Really,
I think it was pretty natural. Yeah.
yeah, me too. But Zoe, like I do have to ask you. It's
For
been
what?
quite a while. In a while, I don't know what's going on in Pakistan and Imran Khan. Can you give us a 1 minute
Man,
synopsis?
I'll tell you. Like,
1 minute.
I'm
Yeah,
like
1
this.
minute.
I'll tell you what. They're gonna figure that out themselves, man.
Done with it.
Either
By the way,
it's gonna be. Well, you know what they say, aar ya par.
Hey, by the way, I heard Musharraf has recently passed away. My deepest condolences.
He had like
Man,
This
is
a look on his face.
that place is an anomaly, man. We
Pakistan
don't even
unique.
know how it still exists. That's
All right.
pretty much it is. I mean, that is the most unique factor about that place. It exists.
True physics puzzle.
Yeah.
I think the fact I
Science,
think the fact that
there is no science to
the fact
science
the
goes
fact that-
hands up. We
the
cannot
fact
explain.
the fact that Pakistan is still surviving economically, to me, is one of the biggest proofs of God's
and
existence.
they became a nuclear
Alright.
power on top of that, which is just insane.
Anyways,
Oh, look at those guns! Damn.
Yeah.
What's
Which
going on,
gun?
bro? You've been working out every day now. Son, what's going on?
Oh, let's see
What's up?
those guns,
Try
man.
to-
Come on.
He
we're good,
flashed
good,
us
good,
his
good.
biceps.
Yeah, that's the guns
I
I'm
was
talking
going
about.
like this.
Maybe it was
No, no, no,
maybe
no.
it was a camera illusion.
It was a bicep
Yes.
flash.
Hey
I don't know if
guys,
he's-
I think I'm.
But
gonna
yeah,
drop.
dude.
Yes,
dude.
absolutely. Just let's sync up and,
Look at Ali.
All right, Ali,
All right, guys.
your end
All right,
credits.
fellas. Thank you, everybody. It's been quite a while, but we do want to thank Goku for joining us today.
thank you guys.
Please watch, subscribe, in your comments. Today's show was brought to you by, I don't know. We got to find new sponsors.
It was brought to you by Quantum Loop Underwear.
Yes, today's show was
Quantum
brought to
Leap.
you by Physics.
Quantum Leap.
Physics, learn it.
Physics.
All right,
Physics is
everybody.
important.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
All right. Good night.
See you guys.